A weekly look at the real people and real stories in education across North Carolina.
Welcome to another episode of Education Matters presented by the Public School Forum of North Carolina. I'm your host, Keith Poston. This episode, we're going to explore school funding across North Carolina by looking at a new study released this week by the Public School Forum, the group that I lead and that presents this show each week. Today, we have the forum's research director, as well as a local district finance officer, a UNC professor, and a state representative who have all been involved in school finance issues. So we're going to learn a lot today. Like every week, before we tackle our main topic, we open with our segment we call Edlines. It's a quick scan of education headlines across North Carolina and the U.S. School leaders from across the state, along with representatives from the North Carolina Association of Educators, gathered at the General Assembly last week to urge Senate lawmakers to take action to change a new K-3 class size cap before it affects the jobs of more than 4,000 arts, music, PE, and foreign language teachers. The new hard per-class cap was added in last year's budget, and district leaders have been warning legislators since last fall that without a remedy or additional dollars, they will be forced to cut hundreds of teaching positions in areas like art and PE in order to hire the new regular classroom teachers they say they'll need to meet the law. The House has already passed a measure that will help address their concerns, but so far the Senate has not taken the matter up. Kestrel Heights, the Durham charter school that was ordered to close its high school a few weeks ago, is appealing the decision by the State Board of Education. The State Board took action because the school awarded diplomas to students who didn't meet state requirements for graduation. A State Board review panel will hold a public meeting on April 4th to hear from the school. Former North Carolina Senator Howard Lee has been selected by the Public School Forum as its 2017 J. Robinson Education Leadership Award recipient. Senator Lee will be honored at a gala event in Raleigh in May. Senator Lee was the first African American to be elected to a mayor of a predominantly white southern town since Reconstruction. That was Chapel Hill, where he was elected in 1969. He later went on to become the first African American to serve as a cabinet secretary and the first to chair the State Board of Education. Finally, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled last week that school districts must go the extra mile to accommodate students with disabilities, in a unanimous decision that could dramatically expand the rights of special education students. All 8 justices sided with the Colorado student in the case, Andrew versus Douglas County School District, in one of the most significant special education cases in decades. Andrew was diagnosed with autism, and his parents feel his public school and individual education program had failed him and sought reimbursement for the cost of sending him to a specialized private school. The National Center for Learning Disabilities said it hoped the ruling would prompt long overdue discussions between parents and educators about how best to serve these students. Remember, you can visit the Public School Forum's website at ncforum.org, click Education Matters, and read more about each of these headlines as well as the other topics we cover each week.